I'd now like to move on to the Young Achiever Award, and to present that I'd like to introduce Julian Sharp, Project Director CPB. Julian's devoted his career to the rail industry and continues to have a passion for using his rail skills to improve transport facilities across the nation. Starting his career as an engineer with Balfour Beatty Major Projects in 1990 and then Balfour Beatty Rail, his talent for getting the best out of his team was quickly apparent, seeing a rapid career progression to project manager, engineering manager and then alliance manager. He became a chartered civil engineer in 1995. He has over 30 years experience in the construction industry, both in the UK and Australia, and he's currently employed by CPB contractors and about to commence as project director of a joint venture partnering with ARTC on the Inland Rail Civil Works Programme Southern Package, which will initially involve leading the team in developing the scope of works for packages between Narromine and Narrabri in regional New South Wales. The team will be initially based in Brisbane. He's also an ARA board member, PWI committee member, and the secretary of the Pitchy Ritchie Railway Preservation Society. That's a tongue twister. Welcome, Julian.
Thank you, David. And yes, definitely a tongue twister, mate, and a bit of a rail geek. Anyway, thank you. So welcome to the 2021 PWI Young Achiever Award. Just quickly, I'll give you a little bit of background about the PWI Young Achiever Award, who the judges are, etc. Look, it's a fantastically prestigious award for young professionals under the age of 35, and the main award is money's up to $10,000 to go to an international rail conference. And we actually, as of this award, we'll have 4 people who will be able to hopefully go to Intertrans next year when they can travel. So we'll be taking a bit of a contingent over, I think. So look, just quickly, as per last year, we had the judges. Thank you for your time. Obviously myself as chair, David Spiteri, Prath Nantha Kumaran, Rebecca Coffey, Lee Taylor, Anna Murray, Matt Jones and Jothi Lola. So they all put their hands up again for this year, and I'm hoping they will put their hands up for next year as well. With regard to award criteria in relation to judging the presentations, the criteria is there. We are reviewing this on an annual basis to make sure that we are aligning with where the PWI is going, but it is more about infrastructure rather than pure P-way. And as per 2 years now, we've done a 2-stage process. So we do the initial judging, utilising what the candidates send us, and then we shortlist, and then we basically have them present in front of the judges. Unfortunately, this year it was done online, but next year I'm sure it will be done face to face. But it's a key part of this whole process of understanding, seeing the contestants, and obviously then agreeing the winner. As always, obviously the PWI aligns with the ARA and obviously is part of the Australasian Railway Industry Awards. And this year the winner will also be announced at the online ceremony, which is actually next week. So it's actually great to be ahead of the pack, and we'll be announcing the winner before or ahead of the ARA. We only had 5 entries this year, same as last year, which is really poor. I really want to get us back to 2018 when we had 11. For a fantastic prize, it's really important that all of us are talking to our younger engineers and younger people to say, look, put something in for this award, and I'll talk a little bit more about that later on about next year. But we need more. So of those 5 entrants we had was Ben Bakowski from Coleman Rail. We had Bree Stonestreet from KSH Services and Institute Consulting. We had Devin Devendra from WSP. Melanie Bowden from CPB Contractors, and Toby Briggs from Martinez Rail. So basically, the judges assessed their presentations and their documentation, and we decided to shortlist for 3 of those people to be part of the shortlisting, who we then took to stage 2. So the first shortlisted person was Ben Bakowski from Coleman Rail. He's a project engineer, and his submission was relating to a programme of major commissioning works for the Southern Programme Alliance, which is being delivered down in Victoria. Our second person was Melanie Bowden, who's a project manager with CPB Contractors, which was basically around the Northern Connection permanent downshore works as part of the line-wide works, which is part of the City Metro City and South West, which you just heard about from Tim, or part of what City Metro are doing. And the third person was Devin Devendra, who's a rail engineer with WSP, and his topic was about making the best of what we have in relation to optimising the Sydney Trains network. So we obviously had them come in online, and we obviously listened to their presentations, and basically we then decided on who the winner was. So I'm going to pass over to Mark Harris, who's going to basically announce the winner of the 2021 Young Achiever Award. Mark.
Thanks, Julian. And before I just announce the winner, I would like to just say a few words. PWI run a number of awards during the year. For me, this is my favourite award, to actually recognise our young achievers and the work that they do. That's my key award for me during the year. As Julian said, it's a great opportunity for that young achiever to really, we actually suggest that they go to an international rail conference, and we pay them $10,000 towards that trip. Most of the previous winners have gone to Intertrans. And what we also do as a PWI is we use that as an opportunity to link in with our large network, the companies like Spino, Plaza, Romberg, all of the international based companies, and actually use that as an opportunity to not only go to the convention, but also use that as an opportunity to network and go and see some of those major companies as a bit of a training tour as well. All of the past winners have gone on to bigger and better things in the rail industry, so we see this as a really important industry, and it's really my great pleasure now to announce the 2021 award winner, and I'm proud to present that to Melanie Bowden. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
On a Mel.
Thank you, Julian.
Do you
Appreciate
want to
it.
have a photo? Or?
Oh, photo?
Yeah, we should get a photo. Turn around that way. We'll just get a quick photo. Thank you.
Okay,
Great,
so
thank
Mel, all yours for a
Thank
few
you.
slides.
Excellent. Sorry.
Big one, big middle button.
Yeah.
No.
I'm really sorry.
That's it.
This one, Julian?
Hit the green button. No,
Okay,
hit the
sorry.
big. Should go.
All right. Thank you, Mark and Julian. It's not.
That's it.
Okay. My name is Melanie Bowden. I'm a project manager for CPB Contractors. I'd like to first and foremost thank the PWI for this opportunity. It is an honour to be considered for this award, and even more to be standing up here accepting it. And in particular, knowing the calibre of the other candidates and the great work that's being done by young rail professionals across the industry every day. My submission for this award was based on my work on the line-wide Sydney Metro City and Southwest line-wide works for the Northern Connection permanent downshore works. So just a general overview of the project. So Systems Connect, a joint venture between CPB Contractors and UGL Engineering, is delivering the City and Southwest line-wide project. I was on the project as area manager for the Northern Connection works. The Metro Tunnel will eventually connect up to Sydney Metro Northwest via the open dive, which is essentially a ramp from ground level into the tunnel. In order to construct the open dive, the existing downshore line from Sydney Trains T1 need to be relocated to the outer extents of the corridor so the open dive could sit in between the Sydney Trains up and downshore lines. As such, we needed to relocate approximately 800 metres of track in a full new track rebuild. The Northern Connection works are critical for a project milestone of overhead wire energisation from Chatswood into the tunnel. And to meet our program, this meant that we needed to achieve the permanent downshore relocation in March 2021, which I'm very happy to say we did. Just a couple more pictures. So at a very high level, the scope included an piled intertrack retaining wall, earthworks, drainage, track build of course, signalling and overhead wiring scope. We also had a scope requirement to install ballast mat on the tunnel deck slab for noise and vibration attenuation purposes as the corridor was moving closer to adjacent residents. This required a concession for the ballast mat, which was granted by the ASA in line with our program. Our worksite was also adjacent to a live Sydney Trains corridor, and of course we need to work within the corridor for certain scopes. With only 4 weekend possessions and a number of midweek nights, it was absolutely critical to ensure that we planned and delivered the works in such a way to minimise our reliance and need to work in a possession environment. And only the essentials were kept for possessions such as close proximity piling, earthworks at either tie-in works, drainage tie-ins, etc. And then possession or non-possession working, an absolute priority for the project and for myself was to ensure that works could be done safely and without impact to the Sydney Trains operations. Detailed planning and ongoing communication and collaboration with Sydney Trains and Sydney Metro was critical to achieving this. So I'd like to take this opportunity to thank both Sydney Trains and Sydney Metro for all their support and collaboration throughout the delivery of these works. And on to the next slide. Like most jobs, there were a number of challenges that presented themselves, and I'd just like to touch on 2 today. Firstly, the scope had significant interfaces, both with Sydney Trains as well as other contractors working in the corridor. And you also had MTS for Sydney Metro Northwest. Interfaces inherently come with their own challenges and difficulties, and it was important to manage these in a safe and effective way through proactive, open and honest communication and looking at all interfaces with a best for project and best for network lens. At the end of the day, no matter the badge on our shirt, we're all here to improve our industry. So there's always a way to get things done for everyone. I'd like to just touch on one more challenge, which you can see depicted in these pictures. In March 2021, on weekend 38, the planned possession to complete the permanent downshore relocation was met with some inclement weather, to say the least. It was a 1 in 60 year rain event. And the forecast predicted it, so we knew what we were walking into. And it was essential that we were able to plan and both demonstrate the planning behind it, that we had sufficient contingency and rigour in our planning, all non-critical works had been deferred, and additional safety precautions introduced even before we got boots on the ground that weekend. On the weekend itself, although incredibly wet, the skill of everyone shone through. And it was a prime example of what when everyone in a possession understands the common goal, their role in it, and pulls together and supports one another to achieve what needs to be achieved and hand back the network safely and successfully for Monday morning trains. I was incredibly proud of what we achieved and what I'd personally achieved from over the last 18 months that led up to this moment. To move on to the final slide, here's a picture from the Monday after the permanent downshore was relocated, and you can see a train successfully operating on the new section of track. I'd like to say thank you again to the PWI and in particular the Young Achievers Award judging panel for this opportunity and for all that you do to recognise and champion young achievers in the rail industry. As I said earlier, it is an honour to be considered and even more so to be up here accepting this award today. I would also like to thank the whole team at Systems Connect and in particular the Northern Connection team and everyone who contributed to the success of the permanent downshore works. It was a great project to work on, definitely a highlight of my career so far, and it was the people who made the job, and I was incredibly lucky to work with a great bunch of people. Thank you again. I hope everyone enjoys the rest of today's presentation, and hopefully next year we can do it in person.
Thank you, Mel. Come through. Let's go. Thank you, Mel, and that's absolutely fantastic. And look, well done and congratulations. And also thank you for the other 4 people who put documentation in. It was fantastic. So about next year, which is not far away. So nominations are due to open for the Young Achiever Award in about early 2022. We'll find some final dates out from the ARA with a closing date of around June. With again, hopefully next year it will be a face-to-face awards night in Melbourne. That is on the 14th of September. Actually, I should say 2022, not 2021. Anyway, so I want more than 5, please. So all those managers, all those people out there, members of the PWI, we will be continually pushing this. I want double digits, please. Okay, everybody in this room here, you know, we have young engineers. We just want to encourage them to really put their best foot forward, get themselves out into the industry, get recognised, and then bigger and better things, as Mark said. Anyway, thank you. I'll hand over to David to wrap up the first session.
Thanks, Julian. That just leaves me to wrap then. Thank you all for tuning in. Congratulations to Melanie. Thanks again to Tim and John. And congratulations to the PWI for keeping this really important event going and doing that in an innovative way. And I hope next time we'll all be together doing it. We're now going to go for a short break and we'll be back at 10 a.m. sharp, please. See you shortly.